Welcome to the Drop In with Pindi podcast from Warriors TMA Academy, a podcast for everyone from business inspirational leaders, combat sports enthusiasts, martial artists, and fitness fans. Together, we can build our self-discipline, confidence, and positive mindsets through great leaders. Now, here's your host, coach and former pro fighter, Pindi Matahar.
Welcome everyone here for the Drop In with Pindi podcast. I am back with the man himself, everyone, Mr. Braulio Estima. Sir, thank you so much for coming back again. We are here for part 2 for the Drop In with Pindi podcast with Professor Braulio Estima. The last one that we did was way back in April of this year, and the feedback that I got personally, but I don't know about yourself, but the feedback I got back is we want to hear more. We want to hear more. We want to hear more. So I made the phone call, got you back, and now we are here.
Man, thanks so much, Pindi.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm very happy to be here. You know, I had a great time the last time.
Yeah.
You know, we run out of time, but now we have plenty of time. And I also got a lot of feedback, and it's always good to talk about good things that has interested, that made who we are today, and then be able to share to the world and have a good response. It's always a good feeling.
Absolutely. The way we left it last time, and the last podcast we left it was back in April. Gyms are still shut. We were getting ready to open the academies, but we left it and you were going on about, the way you left it was you've got a few projects lined up, which the world has seen now. I'm glad to be part of and constantly studying from yourself as well with it as well. And I want the audience to hear about it all. One of which is, as mentioned previously, the head professor of GB Global. After that, you released your no-gi syllabus, your curriculum, your course, and everything on the platform of Gracie Barra online, which has been awesome. I've learned so much from that. So thank you so much for obviously doing that with Professor Jacob as well. But what's been going on since April, bro? How has it been? How's it been being back at the academy and doing all these projects?
It's been busy. It's been good to be back. It has been busy for a long time. As you mentioned, you know, like through the pandemic, appeared the opportunity to become the head professor of the Gracie Barra Global. And then, you know, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. It was just shown that when you do things with a goodwill and without expecting things back, and the things just folds in a way like it's supposed to be. And I feel like I'm on the right path, you know, and I took advantage of the pandemic. Instead of complaining or feeling sorry, try to better myself in all areas as possible. You know, so I made the opportunity, you know, taking this new position, the Gracie Barra. Then I had the opportunity to make my very first no-gi program, which was a 4 months worth of program. For the GB Online. It was an advanced program, and it was very good to be able to talk about and share about how I got to understand Jiu-Jitsu, how I understand today. You know, a lot of new things that I never shown before, including the heel hooks, attacks, and especially the escapes. Because you see, even nowadays, like last weekend, there was a competition, and people in higher level don't even kind of know how to escape the heel hooks yet, because there's no focus on that overall. So I try to, you know, discover more about Jiu-Jitsu, and I learn a lot, becoming a better version of myself in the mats, outside the mats, as a parent, as a partner, as a teacher, as a student, you know, as a friend. And it's a never-ending evolving. It's a cycle. I'm very pleased to be active, you know, I got to meet so many special people, learn so much from them. And that's it. The life goes on, and I try to better myself every day. And the way that I see is never ending. That was the path that I chose, right? Since when I took my focus from being the number one, when I took the focus to be about myself, you know, I saw a lot of things lining up in a way that's showing that the path that I'm choosing now is the right way. And I'm very happy to see people around me growing with me together.
That's it. We grow together, absolutely. And it's so good to see. And you've only seen, like we touched upon it before, you only seen that after not focusing on yourself. And when I say not focusing on yourself, we always focus on ourselves, but from a competition point of view, from an athlete point of view, you've taken a step away from that. You've taken the foot off the gas, and now you've been able to see everything else, because we I think we touched upon it last time. Being a competitor, being an athlete is a very selfish,
Yeah,
you have to be selfish in it.
Yeah.
And I respect the guys that do it. Like we've both been in that stages of different martial arts and sports. I've seen the guys that are doing it right now, but that's one chapter in your life, and then we have to go to the next chapter and the chapter after that, and so on and so forth. And it's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, like my first attraction for jiu-jitsu was, the art itself, and to be good in the art that I chose, and to be the best in the world.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you get to know a lot about yourself, But I spent a lot of time up until 2009 was fully and exclusively about me. I had my academy. I had people that I was influencing around me, but I was influencing in a way, motivating them to become also what I wanted to become, to be the champion. When I spoke before when I won the 2009 ADCC weight in absolute in a way that it was not many people in the world has ever done it. On Monday, I did feel a little bit of, hold on a second, this cannot be just about that, about me, And then it's not like a video game that you reach a certain level, you go boom, boom, you're in the next level up. You know what I mean? It's not like that. So I felt a little bit, okay, cool. Look, I had so many people important for my life on that moment, present moment. I'm achieving the glory, which was an amazing. I'll never change, by the way. It was incredible. And I if I go back in time, I probably would do the same anyway. I would have a little bit extra thing on my mind that is not only about that on the process, which I learned then. Yeah. Because it was like everyone around me was so important for my achievement at the same time, but I was the highlight of it. And I liked it. It was fun, but I just felt a little bit, okay, it has to be a little bit more about it.
Absolutely.
And then, therefore, when I focus, and then what I felt was, as soon as I start deliberately focus on, okay, hold on a second, that's much more than just about me. I want to help people to achieve their goals. It doesn't matter what the goals are. If it's to be fit, to socialize, or if it's to be a champion, or to anything.
Whatever the goal may be.
Is about that. And when I have that knowledge and self-knowledge that I deliberately want to help others and purposely, that's when things start changing a lot in my life. And I was doing a certain level of that, and I seeing signs, and I start focusing. Okay, hold on a second. The same way that I learned jiu-jitsu, I was looking for it. Hold on a second. I think this is the right path to do it. And then it was connecting, and people who was been connecting with my stories since then. People was connecting with the same purpose, and then people, the signs that I was showing, my decisions that I was made in order to be where I am today, all the decisions that I did with the conscious, with the understanding, and with the purpose to help making people around me become a better version of themselves. I felt that the universe conspired in a way to be where I am now.
Well, anyone that follows you on social media, which is probably the whole world right now, the guy's a model as well. Look at it, fresh haircut.
Vogue, not this weekend. I'm busy with Pindi.
There you go. But anyone that follows you on social media and sees, because you share so much, and it's so nice to see wherever you are in the world, whether it's personal holiday, whether it's for seminar or a conference or whatever it may be, you're always sharing. And people, I see it from the outside point of view, is you're always giving, which is so, it's a great position to be. Last podcast when we did it back in April, we were explaining, and the whole purpose for me doing these podcasts is that I want to try and, not me personally, but the people like yourselves and all the other guests we have, is just to try and inspire the people that don't have that mindset yet. But from the last podcast, hearing about when you got injured in 2010, hearing about how you visualized when it was, I think it was 2009 when Carlos Gracie, when he
2005
and you're like, wonder what he's thinking in the shower right now. From your mindset, from competitor, from suffering a bad loss, a bad injury, and
which is quite a loss.
which is a loss. Getting told multiple times you're never going to compete, never going to be able to do something that you love again. All of that aside, you've gone through many highs as well as lows, like we all have, but you've always overcome it. And very, like we were just touching upon this. when you were a competitor, you just started GB Birmingham. You had people like we discussed that were close to you, you were developing. We see those people now, they're still doing their thing, which is amazing to see. But also that's a mindset in itself, because when you see these people be not necessarily disloyal, but go onto their own journeys, that's also mentally very difficult to deal with. On top of that, you're trying to compete. On top of that, you're dealing with injuries. On top of that, you got your own. So just talk us through that. Like, what I know you touched upon it just before, but
look, with my experience, I'm 41 years old. You know,
you don't look it, man.
You
look, you don't.
I'll give you the number. But I noticed that things happens. There are patterns in life.
Yeah.
And I saw that there are cycles, and I noticed that there's a blueprint.
Yeah.
That can be is the core blueprint, the core concept of success in anything in life is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to do it. You got to put in practice, and you got to believe, and you're going to do it without fear.
Yeah.
Right. I consider myself successful as a competitor because I achieve what I achieved as a competitor.
Absolutely.
But I'm not successful in many other things in life because I didn't focus on, I didn't do what I did while I was competing, thinking about what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Right. But the concept that I used and that I learned and that I put in practice and that I recognize what I learned, how I cross-reference, how I understood the concept, how I understood about myself, how I accept myself within, how I became better version of myself within, which was pretty much doing all the things that all the successful people do on their field did.
Yeah.
When I start correlating, I realized that's the blueprint of any success success story in life. And I start kind of cross. Look, it's weird, but like the way that I learned jiu-jitsu was a lot of by sharing.
Yes.
It was by why did I improve in jiu-jitsu so much in such a short period of time when I was a brown belt coming from Brazil to UK, right? Because I was sharing everything. I was teaching with passion, but I was teaching everything that I knew. I wasn't holding back. I wasn't showing just I was showing everything.
Yeah.
And by showing everything, people who is around me appreciate that, and they get more. They send me questions and even things that I didn't know is yet what is the answer by the questions of my people around me, because I was opening up it all. But what if I do this, bro? What if I always encourage people to say that? Because it made me think and recognize and understand. And that sharing made me become an even better version of myself on that particular subject. And I was learning over and over again. And the main focus was, at the time, when I was doing a seminar, I was teaching a class, I was trying to make that specific moment as special as possible to everyone around in all different levels. Right? Yeah. By doing that, by sharing with passion, with everything, without holding back, I could see the eyes brightening of everyone, like, happy to be there. So the vibe is good.
Yeah.
They appreciate. And I appreciate that they appreciate it. So I want to give more. And then they give more into it. And this made me, on that particular moment when I was working, I made such special that it helped me to understand myself within even more. And I was thinking in the box, okay, hold on a second, sharing, made me better. Yeah. And then when you sharing without expecting, listen, if you understand, or if you want to understand my what I'm trying to pass it on to you, is on you. It's not on me if you want or not. I cannot control that. Some people will be there, can't wait to understand, and be inquisitive, being more curious and try to learn. Good. But if you don't, I don't care. As long as I was putting out there everything. And that made me improve in jiu-jitsu by hoping that you become as good as you could be. And I'm helping you to figure it out, sharing how I got to that point. So in this concept, if you put in practice in life, you will see that things changes. You will learn about life. You will learn about anything when you have this kind of mind concept. And this I learned through jiu-jitsu. That's not only about myself all the time, but that was my focus. my focus when I was teaching was because I was being passionate about it, because I'm very lucky to do something that I really love. Absolutely. So I was doing jiu-jitsu and then making the most of that moment, using that position, that place, to focus on as positive as possible, to spread as good as possible, right?
Yeah.
Then that made me become a very good fighter, right?
Yep.
And a good professor because of the idea. But yet, my goal at the time was to be the best myself.
Yes.
Right? But then I became.
Yes.
But when I did became, why did I became? Because I then started cross-references, everything. Like I learned, I even put another post like before, like I try to understand jiu-jitsu in a different way, but not many people sees that way.
Yesterday's post, wasn't it? I saw that. Why? About asking why.
Yeah.
Not about the it.
Don't copy how.
Yeah.
Don't do just the how.
Yeah,
try to
I saw
understand
that.
the reason why things, right? So, but not many people, like I see, look what I'm trying to get into. The lesson is huge. The options are endless, right? Mm-hmm. But the concept, when you get to the concept, it's what matters.
Yes.
I learn this way. That's how I learn jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
If I do a kimura, take myself away from it. What's happening to the guy? If you do omoplata, take yourself away. What happened to the guy? It's the same thing. So hold on a second. Baby, a kimura is just one kind of way to do the same thing that the omoplata is doing. That you can even create at the same position by doing completely different, even with your feet, with your hands, whatever. Put the hand behind, it doesn't matter, right? So, but when you understand what matters, by cross-reference, you'll be better. That's how I use those concepts in jiu-jitsu, in a coping place, in life, to see, and then you understand what really matters.
Absolutely.
That is the approach, is the mindset approach that changed, you know? And my goal was at the time, I was always wanted to be the best in what I did. Then I wanted to be the best professor in what I did. But then I want to be the best role model now. I want to help people to see that there is a blueprint that if you focus and follow and understand and put in practice, you will be successful. It doesn't matter what you choose. Right. Now, when I was through jiu-jitsu, made me understand that, right? But not necessarily. Even though I was understanding, but I wasn't put in practice in many areas in my life. Yeah. But one thing that I started realizing is as soon as I started applying it, the success was coming with it. And then it made me understand, hold on a second, that's the secret. Because when you see, when I started training jiu-jitsu, I didn't, I had a lot of things I noticed, like these guys, I heard about people saying, champions are not good teachers, but good teachers usually are not champions. And I said, hold on, why? Why is that? What if I want to focus on being a champion and a good teacher? That was my goal, because I've always been trying to prove people wrong. Yeah. Firstly, people said, you're never going to be a champion if you are from Recife. I proved them wrong. You know? You'll never be able to be successful as a black belt. I proved them wrong. But if you get injured, you're not going to be able. I proved them wrong. But now you cannot be a professor. I proved them wrong. And therefore, I started understanding. I learned jiu-jitsu a lot by teaching around the world. And I see that everywhere in the world, there is a different vibe in the academy. And not necessarily people, I also learn on the process, when you teach something, that some things are so obvious for you, but for others are not at all. And there's something that's not obvious for you. For a white belt, it's so obvious. And you look, come on, this was not. So it's not about belt, it's about mindset. And how you see the world. That's why before I got good at myself in jiu-jitsu, I had to accept myself by who I was, who I am. And not try to be better than anybody, but be better than myself all the time. This mindset for life is also the way to succeed. It doesn't matter what it is. You cannot focus on someone else. All you need to do is to better yourself from yesterday. Always. And if you start seeing and correlating how all the champions, all the successful businessmen has this mindset, you start getting more confidence. So that's how it is. And you put in practice, because you got to put in practice. Absolutely. When I went to fight Jacare, I put all that in practice and I succeed, even though the odds was completely opposite. That means I figured out, I knew it is possible. But then I lost to Andre Galvão. Why? I already beat Andre Galvão a few times before, but I didn't put in practice, so it's no longer just no. You got to keep exercising. You got to put in practice to be able to have the results.
Constantly putting that foot on the gas pedal. Always.
All
constantly,
the time.
Constantly.
It's not all lean, but it's not all out. We need to find the balance to be able to have around. So when I noticed that, I realized that people, when I was not so experienced champions, they go to do a seminar, they say, listen, I do this, but why do you do that? Because I do this.
But there's not a clear explanation.
Because for them it's so obvious.
Yes.
But for them, and then I start trying to break down everything in reverse engineering in a way to make it clear to a black belt and a white belt in the same subject. And therefore, I start understand that, hold on a second, if you break things down in that way, you're always going to go down to the concept. And then it's not about how I do it.
Yeah.
It's about the reason why I do it.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people used to ask me, who is the person that you was your biggest reference? I don't have one. I have everyone that was successful. I just try to get the best out of it to add to my own, incorporate on my thing. Yeah. So this kind of understanding made me understand myself a lot more, and therefore, I try to be, grow as a man, being a father helped me loads to be able to understand that, to be patient, to see things from a different perspective, and that's it. Everyone has their battle.
Yes.
Things that sometimes is so simple for you might not so simple for a person, or some things like you struggle with something, maybe he won't struggle. Yeah. But when you start to understand and put in practice, Jiu-Jitsu, we have this advantage to be able to put reality in real exchange of energy and fighting that works as a problem solving every day. Without getting long-term damage. Because that's the beauty.
You said that last time as well. You said there's something you can't do. You can't deny on the mats. You can't lie on the mats. Yeah. You express on the mats. You put it into place every day, and it's something you can't get away from. You can't lie from it. Does that make sense? Lie. You tell the truth. You express the truth on the mats.
Exactly. And if you're not getting frustration when you are when you're trying on your journey, that means that you're not caring.
Yes.
Frustration is part of you trying to better yourself, but you can't see, but you're struggling. The struggles make you get frustrated because you really want it. If you don't care, you're never going to get frustrated. Yeah. You're never going to be frustrated about something that you don't care. I tell you that.
Absolutely.
So those things is like the metamorphosis of the caterpillar to become a butterfly. Yes. You cannot teach them. You cannot help them to break the cast.
Yes.
You can only tell them that you have to break the cast. So it's up to the butterfly, to the caterpillar to break.
If he wants to break the cast,
Exactly. And then if I tell you this is the way I have broke, and then I have seen people being helped to break and then die, because when you don't pump the blood to the wings, you are easy prey.
Yes.
So it's even those struggles, you feel that cannot go. It's like the kid when they're struggling to start walking. It's frustrated. The kids when they struggle, you can see the kid when trying to talk and they cannot express himself, how much it's hard for them. It's very frustration, right? And that's learning. Learning through being a dad as well. And then when you apply all those lessons into your jiu-jitsu, you become a better fighter. You become a better understander of the fight. So today, when I see things now that I see for me, it's so obvious for me because that mindset I was clicked a long time ago and I put in practice and I studied, I developed, and I learned, and I shared, and I learned from sharing, and I see jiu-jitsu in a very huge spectrum. Doesn't mean that people see the way. Therefore, I want to share it. So pass it on so people start seeing it and evolve it and be. And I don't expect people to recognize it was from me or don't recognize it. I don't care if people are going to say, oh,
as long as they see.
I just want to put it out there. And it's honest. And
absolutely.
It's very, very honest and with good intentions. Yes. And I don't expect nothing back. If it comes, I don't care. All I'm happy is to send that. I was speaking to George St. Pierre. Joseph sent me a message the other day. He said, oh, brother, man, I'm really sorry. I did an interview here for the UFC. Yeah. And they was asking about who was important for my temper. I forgot to mention you. And I just wanted to tell you that you are being one of very important. I have a message here. Actually, I just came down to here. I just wanted to let you know that you are being very important to my career, and I'm really thank you, and I'm gonna love you, bro, whatever. I said, George, I don't give a damn what people think. I don't give a damn if you forgot, because I forget so many things. This message already says it all. It's cool, you know. You know that I help somehow. You know, George is like, my contribution for George is nothing, you know, but it doesn't matter if people nowadays with social media just put the cover. The cover is not the edge of the iceberg. I know how much I had fun, how much I learned from him too, and how much we exchange. And I know he's thankful. And just this message when he said, "Bro, man,"
that shows the character, doesn't it? That shows the individual character of the.
And if nobody hear about this, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as he's happy that once we cross paths and we benefit each other, because it's not just one way; it's both ways. I learn loads.
And I read on. I was reading the book the other day, and it's a two-way street. Mm-hmm. It's a two-way street. If I'm not that I, like you just said, you're never expecting anything. You never expect anything from anyone when you give, but when you do get it back, how rewarding isn't it? It is so rewarding, isn't it?
Look, and this is I get emotional with those things because it's so crazy, right? Two things that I have realized, and you'll hear that in the future. You will find out, okay? Two things that are very important for any kind of relationship is the two qualities in actions and reactions is appreciation and giving back. You know, if the two parties appreciate each other and two parties give back to each other, it's a never-ending growth of the relationship. Because imagine if you do something for me or whatever you do, I go, man, thank you, I appreciate it so much, brother. No, Pindi, come here. No, but how about this? You go, Braulio, man, thank you so much. And I'm gonna send it back, and it becomes like never ending, right? And this is one thing. If you want to be successful, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have the quality of appreciating and giving back, you are halfway there. Because if you don't appreciate, if you don't give back, you don't care. Because I'm giving back and appreciate anyway. Yeah. If you appreciate and don't give back, it's your side. I don't care but if you appreciate and give back, you connect in a way that never ends.
That's the connection.
So that's all you can do is control your part. And your part is appreciation and giving back.
But where does that all come from? It comes from gratitude. It's gratitude. Being gracious is so important in life. These are the simple principles in life. Simple principles.
You've got to be grateful. Listen, sometimes what the pandemic taught us was this: be grateful for what you've got, not be focused on what you don't have.
100%.
You know, you need to focus on what you need.
Need,
and then, but as a human being, we always want more. The one thing, it never stops.
Yeah.
You get a car. I want a better car next year, and then I get a better car next year. I want a better car next year. No, up until I have a Ferrari, and then I want to have two Ferraris. I want to have the one thing never stops. But when you appreciate that, you should focus more on what you need.
Yes.
And then if you can if you can need what you want.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and then without making people around you in a. That's my belief, by the way. This is not the truth of the universe, right? But
it's true.
That's my mindset. My mindset is like, what's the point of me having everything and you have nothing? Is exactly when it happened when I won the ADCC 2009, mate. I had the bloody spotlight, but you guys are part of myself. How about you? Do you get it? So come together. I'd rather be there by with everyone else around me than be there by myself. Because you can only be happy. What's the point? You be happy, like, okay, you live in UK, and then you have the biggest mansion and the biggest car and the plane, whatever, but you can only use on the desert when there's nobody around. What's the point? What's the point? So why chase that? Because this is what leads, right? If I want to be outstanding of all the people that you hang out with, you're gonna be out of focus. And then if these are people that you really love to be around, you here will attract a lot of people that not necessarily what was with you since the beginning. And then what's the truth about your life, though? So what's the point being so high up in anywhere you do if you're not bringing people that you love together with it? So that's the mindset that I try to kind of preach and put into practice and lead by an example, really.
I think it's so important because what you've expressed so much there about your mindset, about how your way of thinking is now. It all comes from in my opinion, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu.
And the way jiu-jitsu has taught us, we touched upon it last time as well, in terms of saying jiu-jitsu isn't just what you see on the mats. That's one aspect of it. You've got all the other values that are part of it as well, which teaches you. And I think it's going to be a mission of ours one day to bring it in schools, because the kids of the next generation need to understand it and need to start learning it. We see it with the children we have here on the mats, and you can see the change in them on a daily basis. We were talking about daily improvements, and you can see the 1% improvement on a daily basis, and it's so important to see. And it comes from, like we said, being gracious, having gratitude towards it. And that's unfortunately something that schools don't teach, because you're stuck in a system in school, in my opinion. You're stuck in a system which you can't get.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a competition. Competition is good.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing, but you need to put focus on because what's happening is, when there's a competition, when you're not prepared to compete, you cannot get motivated to keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. To beat someone that you could never beat anyway, because the person is so much far ahead than you. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Yeah. If it's a competition, it's too far. But if it's being taught in a way that all you need to do is to better yourself even a little bit from yesterday, and then you will see, you click. It's like magic. It's crazy. If you put in practice, if you search, you find. Yeah. And that's the thing. And then the only thing that you should always be trying to never give up. Those are the lessons.
They're the simple lessons.
Sometimes, look, water, soft. Rock, hard. If a water be hitting the rock, sooner or later we'll go through. Because it's the persistence. It's like, see, it shows it all those sayings that have been for years, like don't cry over the spilled milk. This is all part of what life is about. In those areas that you can apply 100%, actually it is the main core concepts for jiu-jitsu, learning jiu-jitsu. And once you put in practice, you appreciate, because you learn by doing it, by feeling it, by understanding how I used to do and how I'm doing now. And I see the improvement. You go, click, good. So that's what I was lucky for. I was lucky to be able to figure that out in jiu-jitsu. I've been successful in jiu-jitsu only as a competitor. Then I try to be good as a professor. Then as a school owner now. And now as a leader of the Gracie Barra Global. Yeah. And as a human being.
General.
And then later we spread.
It's gonna spread. Let me ask you a question. Do you see yourself one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world right now?
Man, look, I know what you mean. Yeah. I don't really like.
I know you got respect for more. I know there's respect for everyone, and I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. But I'm trying to get into your head now. Does that make sense?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, because if you go football now, as an example, you go to Cristiano Ronaldo, you go to Lionel Messi, them two. There's a big debate. There's a big debate. Who's the best at them two? But one of them two. You go to you ask them a simple question, they'll say X or Y. Yeah. There's so many in jiu-jitsu, from the outside point of view, from my point of view, and many others. We see you as one of the best, but we want to know what your mindset is when you wake up in the morning. Do you see yourself as the best?
When I wake up in the morning, I don't think about being better than anything. I just think about when am I going to have my breakfast, or if I'm going to do fasting today, and what am I going to do today that's going to make a difference on my life or somewhere else around me. That's what I think. I know for a fact, by looking at people talking about jiu-jitsu, by amazing reference of jiu-jitsu, I feel that the way that the amount of time that I put to understand jiu-jitsu, which is never going to end, and I just see myself in 5 years' time understand jiu-jitsu in a much simpler way, and be able to explain and break down to anybody in the world, even better than what I do today. Absolutely. If I speak to myself 5 years ago, I will make myself open mouth and go, what the heck, for real? Why didn't it? And this happens with me all the time, because I am in search of better all the time, and it's never ending. If there's not a limit, you're never going to know it all, but you're going to keep growing, keep improving. But I see that the way that people tend to spend a lot of times through competitions it's limited yourself to the wider range because you want to be learning now. Jiu-Jitsu is truthful, is real, and it doesn't come fast, right? But competition, I can make a strategy of competition because look how much, so much you can do in Jiu-Jitsu. So much you can do in 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
There's so much you can do in 10 minutes. But nowadays, I'm still in the process of become more. I don't have one. I no longer fight focus on techniques. I don't have a sequence. I just be it. I just go with it. And you see when Bruce Lee used to say, like, be water, my friend, be water. He has the understanding that already.
Yeah,
right? He already have the knowledge because but then if you don't know, if you never felt, you don't really kind of get it. You kind of understand it, but you don't really get it.
Yes.
What being water, my friend. And I start getting it. I feel like, okay, I just flow. I flow because I figured it out that everything is simple when you understand the motions. In Jiu-Jitsu, it's all about if you are above, squeezing. If you are between, spreading. It's like the crocodile stick on the crocodile's mouth. Yes. You cannot start the movement, or wrapping the crab's claw. It cannot open. So it's all about tensions and compression. Once you understand that and you apply in every part of your body, and then you master it. And then I do see a lot of people focus on competition, which is part of the game, which is part of the attraction, which is good for the sport. I don't blame. I actually enjoy watching, right? But it's going to be, if I figured it out, that I had to do something different to better myself within Jiu-Jitsu, if whoever does, they will see Jiu-Jitsu in a much different way. And I will learn from them. So I do feel that I know many people in the world see Jiu-Jitsu like how I see, but there are people that it does. There are people that sees even better than I do. Yeah. But I'm just enjoying the moment that I know that the mindset that I chose to follow and to put in practice and develop by sharing, by seeing, by applying is the right way to be as good as it could ever be. Absolutely.
And do you see it with them? Say, not necessarily when I say youth, I'm on about people younger than you, people, even some professors that are just received their black belts or even brown belts, purple belts. It doesn't matter. Do you see their journeys now and you're thinking, man, I was there. And you want to grab them by the hands and say, don't go that way. Come, like, do you know what I mean? How do you manage that? Like, because you've got so many underneath you and with you as well. Mm-hmm. And like I always say to my guys here, just learn from my mistakes, guys. I'm here to tell you, learn from my mistakes about whether it's simple things like weight cutting or this, or preparing for a comp, or preparing for a fight, whatever it may be. Don't do what I did because this is what happened to me. Now go to this way. Do you get what I mean?
Like, first of all, like everyone everyone is different, and that's the main thing. You got to take a conclusion. You need to understand and conclude. Everyone's different. That is not about being better than him. It's try to understand myself and figure it out. It's a common sense. It's physics. It's real. It's not luck. Once you accept yourself, try to understand yourself. Look, fighting is between two people in martial arts. So it's a conflict of interest. It's an argument. It's a problem solving. But it's not only happening things what this person wants. It's how dealing with the other person's wanting to. It's a conflict of interest. So I must first understand how to manipulate myself. I must know how I exercise myself. I need to, of course, there's many factors to be able to be a successful martial artist. You need to be an athlete. You need to look after your body. His body and soul. You need to try to understand the system. You need to understand mechanics within yourself. And you need also, then you're going to start to understand the mechanics against someone else. So how can I manipulate my opponent? Right? To be able to manipulate my opponent, I need to manipulate myself first. Understand myself, walk like it's a flow. Then manipulating your opponent is going to be the same next level. It's going to be like a flow. And everything is about compressing and expanding. And if you cannot, that's the things, right? I'm taking conclusions. If you see, everything is about controlling the extremities That's the thing. Like some people understand, it's very hard to explain metaphorically. But for example, imagine I will give you guys a hint, right? Head of the snake concept I use every single day, every single row. Head of the snake concepts, like whatever starts, it can lead to something. If something never starts, it cannot lead to nothing else. Example, to be able to win a marathon, you need to do the first step first. Look at the concept that how much aspects in life can you apply that. And this is all about. But when you say step, can be used as a step, as an action, but also as a movement, right? If I'm holding you here, if I want to get out, if I do that and get out, I escape. What did I do first to get out? I did that. If this never happened, I will never be able to try. It doesn't exist. So I need to do first. So if I hold here, I don't start, right? The head. If whoever follows jiu-jitsu, right? If you want to go to put a number on me, you get my arm. If I fold over you, my head goes first. If I hold the head, and then I cannot go, so never happen. Whatever happened, I told you before, there's no point to cry over the spill milk. Whatever happened. Don't let it, the second or the third, whatever follow to happen. If this something happened, next step stop. This happened, next step stop. Because whatever happens, gone. If you dealing with what's happening, what's happened, you're late. So when you understand that, and the head of the snake, like for example, arm wrestling, you're going to find very hard someone to win an arm wrestling like that. Yeah. He needs to break first so he can lead where you want to go. Right? Look, wherever the hand goes, so this is showing. And then if something, for example, if I'm pinning someone, if you pin on the wrist, he moves. I can move like the arm wrestling. Yeah. But if you pin on the hand, I cannot move, so it's useless. So wherever is extremities, a pin, like the crab's claw, I cannot stop. And whatever is between, I expand. So I cannot move down, I cannot go, I'm stuck. It's everything about that. If you think about my legs, foot bend to the butt, head fold to the knee. And that's it. It's all about that. In the end, whoever search will figure out that jiu-jitsu is all about that. And in the end, will be left, right, up, down, push and pull, back and forth. That's it.
Simple. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is all about.
Yeah. It's good.
This is the secret.
That's how simple jiu-jitsu is, guys. Honestly.
This is the secret.
Literally.
You know?
It's
and
great.
Constant tension.
Yes.
Right? Because if you push me this way, I'll come back.
We're
not punching.
Yeah.
Punching will not have contact. So if I don't have contact, I need to use bam, 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 pop, 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 move, pop, pop. In jiu-jitsu, is like, for example, if you hold, come to here, look, it's like, imagine a goal, yeah? If I want to, imagine that's a circle here.
Yeah.
Right? If you keep shift, if I go, don't let me cross over the here. I cannot pass you over here, look. Okay. Don't let me. I'm never going to go.
Yeah.
Look, see, but if I go here, I can go here.
Yeah, and then
if I beat you around.
Yeah.
So what's happening is, if I want to reach you over there, and that's the roll, I pull hard. So if I won, if I cross the line, I won. So you don't want me to one.
And then you go.
But I have to have a constant
tension.
It cannot be just right. If you lift, I'll come back.
It's going to go back.
If I throw you, you come back. I need to throw lifting and make you use that against you. It's kind of juggling. Yeah. You know, a juggler that when you go to the circus that they can handle, 8 apples at the same time. I can assure you that he didn't start with 7 apples. He didn't start with 7 apples to do 8, right? Yeah. Try to do 7 if you've never done it before. You have to start something below. You need to understand the mechanics.
Yes.
The agility, the sequence, the readjustment is very important. Because if you don't know how to readjust, you cannot handle, like, keep you up to the football. Yeah, look how many times you almost, it's never like a one pace. No. Until you understand where to readjust, you come back. The same as a speedball. It's the same thing. You need to figure it out. Then you add another Yes, and then it's build up to that. Like in jiu-jitsu, the same. The more I can control key points that you need to move, but I can't, you can't because I'm controlling the pin on spreading, and I can do this in different parts of your body, then you will be able to cancel everything that the guy can do against you, and you manipulate him to the way that you want to fight. Yeah. Because the problem that you see nowadays, because the competition is head-to-head, there's like the faster way of learning is show you a sequence, show you a strategy, and a lot of the kids goes against each other, ignoring what they can do against me, blah, 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 blah. And it's beautiful. It's not fair. It's beautiful. Yeah. But if you see someone that knows how to do jiu-jitsu, the person, whoever does beautiful, could never even start. And therefore would never be a threat.
Absolutely.
That's the jiu-jitsu that I feel that it doesn't matter who you fight with. If you understand jiu-jitsu that way, which is longevity, takes long to learn, but once you learn, you deal with anybody. Whereas there are games, plans, or strategies that only work against some people that doesn't know how to deal with that. You can be amazing in a sequence, amazing in a situation that when you get someone that knows how to deal with it, you're stuck. Then you don't have nowhere to go after that because you focus so much on that specific way. Once you learn well-rounded, build your branches, make a very big core, trunk, and you have, because how I see is like the more fruits your tree has, the more successful tree you are. Absolutely. Right? So if you only have one fruit on the branch, you're going to have so much to go for.
Yeah.
So the more fruits you have in the tree, the better the tree is. The more branches you have in the trunk, the better chances you have to have leaves, to have more growth. That's how it is. And one thing that's how I apply things in life, right?
Yeah.
I was watching a documentary. Tree is beautiful.
Okay.
It's like the nature. It's part of our energy, right?
Yes.
The tree, the big trees, I'm going to get emotional, right?
Yeah. Good.
The big tree, at the tallest tree, can take on the forest of the same tree. They have more chances to the leaves to reach the sun, so they can get fed, get the vitamins, and become even better tree. Yeah. There are trees that are growing that don't have access to the sun.
To the top, yeah.
But one thing that they just realized, not just, but a few years back, the roots are connected with all the trees. So what does it mean? The big tree is sharing, bro. Yeah. In the same way. He's sharing with everyone, even though I'm much bigger than you, but I'm sharing because I want you to grow. And then you grow together. And then when you go there, you share it, and everyone is strong underneath. But no, listen, in the big tree, it's not showing off. Look, my trunk above the tree, I'm sharing. No, they don't care. They're sharing.
Constantly.
See, I get emotional.
But internally it's linked.
He's sharing for the sake of sharing, for the sake of the nature.
Doesn't want anything in return, like you said earlier. Exactly. That's what you said earlier.
You know what I mean? And that's everyone's good.
This is it, man.
And this is a secret, man.
It is. It's true. And touching on no, man. Honestly, it's so deep what you just said there, because touching on that, you just said it's part of us. It's part of nature, right? And it's the energy. Everything we do is the energy and the power of the universe. You're talking about attraction, right? Attraction. And I've been doing a lot watching these documentaries recently, doing a lot of research on energies. And the reason I keep touching upon being gracious and having gratitude and these principles that are in jiu-jitsu, because I want, again, the listeners out there to understand the mindset of you as Braulio Estima, as other guests that we've had, because your energy is, I don't know if you guys can feel it when you're listening to this, but the energy, I'm right in front of you and I'm getting pumped right now. Does that make sense? And it all comes down to the power of the universe. Everything that your thoughts are, everything that you say, everything that you're thinking on a daily basis, what you're going to attract. And Professor, you said it right there, that you don't care if you get anything in return. Not that you don't care, that's a bad way of saying it, but you're not expecting anything in return. If you get it, amazing, that connection's there. But if you don't, so be it. But you're constantly giving. You're constantly sharing your knowledge from past experience, from all the years of hard graft that you've done. You're constantly giving and sharing. So what does that tell you about your energy? give. Share.
And appreciate
yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing with the little tree.
Yeah, it's the same.
Give back to us
And you're that big tree, and it's the energy, the constant energy, and that's you're attracting that energy. Does that make sense? And because you've got a lot to give anyway, technically speaking as well, and just for you, you're constantly getting back. So it's the power. I believe it's the circle of life, the power of the universe, the energy you're attracting. I think it's so important.
Metaphor. Look at the same concept, right? Check this out. Carlos Gracie Sr.
Yes.
He noticed something about jiu-jitsu back in the day that he probably never saw a berimbolo.
Yeah.
He never saw a Estima lock, that's for certain. He never saw techniques that today exist.
Yeah.
But he saw the concept of everything. And that's what called him his attention.
Yeah.
And he saw jiu-jitsu, he said, dude, people understand this art.
Yeah.
You know, in which they have an already amazing opportunity to put in practice and every day on the daily grind to understand about themselves. This will make them a better version of themselves. And if everyone did jiu-jitsu, the world would be a much better place. So he said that, right? Carlos Gracie Jr. had the mission to spread jiu-jitsu around the world. But when you talk about like the Chinese whispers, right? I tell you, this is what jiu-jitsu that I'm telling you from Carlos Gracie Jr. This is the mentality, this is the mindset, this is the concept I teach you. I can control that, but I cannot control what you're going to pass it on. Yes. You might do it, you might not. Yes. And you pass to this person, as you mentioned about, they just leave because they don't find the mindset, they want to focus on themselves, boom, 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 boom. Suddenly the 5th, 6th generation might be one of amazing fighter, a hell of a fighter. But not necessarily would be someone that would make a difference in the world.
I completely understand. Right? Yes.
Because it went out way too much from the core values, you know. What jiu-jitsu is about. It's not about choking each other out all the time. It's what comes behind the values. Yes. We have the person who created Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is our master, is the father of my master, right? So Carlos Gracie Jr. spread Jiu-Jitsu through the world through IBJJF, bringing the world to America, UFC, Rorion Gracie, bringing Jiu-Jitsu to the UFC with Royce Gracie, spread. Jiu-Jitsu spread out, right? But then, when we see who is the closest connected to the light, to the sun, right? The big tree. That's what Gracie Barra trying to be. He's trying to be that big tree that lead by example within the forest of jiu-jitsu around the world. Because if you just let those little trees, they're never going to be strong enough to be able to pass it on the big energy around to help with others. So what they do, they try to help them, giving by leading by example, by become one reference within jiu-jitsu around the world, helping people to see the path on how to help people become a better version, and therefore spread jiu-jitsu and level everyone in a higher way. Because whoever now, if you see nowadays, a lot of people tend to copy the concepts, the ideas, because it works. Because that's the way to get the sun. But then they realize, hold on a second, I'm searching the sun, but at the same time, I'm making a difference around my area. And jiu-jitsu as a whole becomes an amazing weapon, amazing tool to make a world a better place. Not that every single one in the world will ever do jiu-jitsu. It's not that, but the jiu-jitsu is our tool. There's so many other journeys that people has that make the difference for themselves.
Yes.
It's whoever, but that's the thing. That's what it. That's
but
what
it's not just like you said. It's not just about the jiu-jitsu. Now I find it is about the jiu-jitsu, as in not the practicality of it. And what I mean by it's not necessarily what you always have to do on the mats, but it's about what it teaches you. And that's why I live upon that on a daily basis now. The core values of everything that we've been getting taught. Does that make sense? The self-discipline is number one. The integrity that comes with it. The brotherhood is the energy around it. Or does that make sense? And it's so important. The loyalty behind it, everything. And these simple
self-development, integrity, brotherhood,
all of that behind it. If we could teach, we are teaching this, but if everyone in the world, not necessarily martial artists, just everyone in the world can live upon these values. How wonderful would the world be right now?
That's what everyone
You
preaches.
wouldn't have any of these horrible murders that are going on right now.
course
Look
not.
at the young girl that just unfortunately got murdered
Exactly.
on
The
was it
teacher.
last week, couple of weeks ago, whenever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, the
teacher in the
teacher.
park.
Yeah, and like who knows what's going on in this guy's head? But
Floyd.
yeah,
Like Floyd
last year
and
or the year before. Yeah,
and
yeah.
the cop.
Yeah,
If one of them did jiu-jitsu, they would know he would be dying.
exactly.
And this will never exist. It will
Yes.
never happen because you will be able to know how to control your opponent or whatever
Yeah.
in a way without really damage, unless if you really want to. And that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu,
Because you got control.
Because you got control, because you
Yeah,
experience, because you know what's happening, you know the level.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think it's so powerful. It's so
huge.
It's
It's
so,
going.
honestly.
It's making a huge difference.
I think it's absolutely huge now. Anyone who I speak to, I know we're connected in martial arts, but anyone speak to, I think jiu-jitsu is the biggest it's ever been right
Yeah.
now. It's like you turn around the corner, there's a jiu-jitsu academy opening there. There's one there. It's
gonna grow.
everywhere. It's gonna
gonna
be
grow.
absolutely huge. And can't stress this enough. I'm proud to be part of it. I'm proud to be representing the Red Shield. But it's I personally believe it's the concepts down to Gracie Barra.
Because
and
it's solid, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has a direct relation with the creator, right? And the concept is the same. Look at the concept; it's the same thing. Okay, we're not like in jiu-jitsu. There's no religion. There's no race. There's no politics in like a left or right. In jiu-jitsu is not polarized. It's like we find everything's about the balance, yin and yang. Right? It's not too much on one side, not too much on the other side. And then everyone is measured and leveled by who you are. And if you understand who you are, and if you try to become a better version of yourself, you will improve and you will become a success story. And it becomes all good. That's what it's all about. And if you see, concept is not talking about religion, guys. Talking about conceptual, right? Like that's God. We send Jesus, and
Yes.
has the apostles, and it spread. It's the same concept.
Yep.
You go to a very big a company in the world that's very successful. They have like the CEO, and they have everyone else, and they blah, 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 blah. And if everything has a vision, if the vision that of your business or whatever your journey is a positive vision, is trying to help out each other. Like Ford, for example. Ford, he was the very first in series factory in series ever. Okay, so he created a system to create the cars, and he made sure that everyone who worked in his company was doing well in life, so they feel happy to be part of it. There's growth. Everyone who works for them could have holidays, could get well paid, could bring the family to the weekends to enjoy the park, to eat. So it's not only about Ford. For him. Ford.
Yeah.
Right? If Ford had only thinking about himself, he would never be who he was. And that's the concept. That's why it's a growth to everyone. And that's the idea. If you try the mentality of the jiu-jitsu back in the day, which is still up today, it is the lion and the pride. There's the lion and the pride, the main lion that they mate with all the other lionesses, and nobody else can. Only him, because he's the Lion King. Until the young lion become and beat you, and you're going to die by yourself. And this will be doing the same thing that he did to you. So nobody else. So nobody has the stake of the pie. Only whoever is the leader. And this is old. This is not the right concept, because this is about you. It's about to be the champion. See, champion. It's not that. Something was missing when I was thinking about that. When I put in practice that, come together, everyone, and enjoy together, and let's have fun. This is heaven on earth, bro. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. The preach is the same. Absolutely. And that's why I don't see jiu-jitsu or Gracie Barra as a religion. It's not that. But what I'm talking about is what I learned from it made me understand the world better person. And everything that I put in practice help each other, become a better version of yourself. Don't do to us what you don't want to do to. It's the same thing over and over. If I get you a number, I'm not going to hurt you, am I? Because if you get me a number, you're going to hurt myself. I want you to improve, because then you want me to improve, and then blah, 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 and it becomes...
That's it. And then you share it.
Life.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Like I've been applying the core values from Gracie Barra for a while now, and I'll be honest with you, it's helped me develop as a person. not just on the mats, off the mats. And I'm trying to share, just like you, just from our last podcast when you did it, because you mentioned briefly about sharing and giving and constantly giving it. And I'm personally trying to live by that on a daily basis. I hope you guys listening to the second podcast are trying to do the same thing, because your life becomes so much more clearer.
Yes.
Clear. It's like all of a sudden my glasses have come on. It's like I'm already.
And then when you see on the naked eye the benefits around people around you and the benefits around your life, you go, dude, that's it.
Why didn't I do this before?
Yeah.
You feel like going back and giving yourself a slap. Yeah.
But then it's a situation. If you don't put in practice, you don't know how to. You need to take your own conclusions. The way in Brazil, you bring the donkey to the lake, but you cannot force to drink the water. The same thing for the caterpillar. You can tell, like you cannot help. You cannot help. You need to do yourself, because by trying to do yourself, you will take your own conclusions and learn. And when you have those clicks, you will see. You won't see no one doing bad in life, no homeless, no people, no killers, no terrorists, none of them will have this mindset. Because if they had this mindset, they would never be doing what they did.
Yeah.
Right? So some people will have, some of us, I was lucky to be involved, to be well raised by my family, which led me in the right direction, like the head of the snake had to start. But then I'm the one that needs to direct my own lessons in life and associate what I think is right, what's good, and I'm searching to be a better version of myself. Then I learned that. That's why I see, unfortunately, people who born in a very bad situation with parents that were drug dealers, or the mom was raped, or the father was a killer, whatever. The reference that they have, they don't have a reference. So unfortunately, those people might not ever see what is the secret, and that's why I'm here to share.
This is what this
is
the whole purpose of this. You said it there. You're very blessed. You're very blessed to have a good family around you. You're very blessed to have an amazing master. When you were a blue belt and he come to you in that competition and he said to stay away from the drugs, there's something in you. Does that make sense? Now look at you, 25 years later, you're the head professor in GB Global. So you're very. I don't think let's reverse. You're not blessed. You've attracted that, and this comes from the energy of the power of the universe, like we were just discussing, right? These people, like you said, whose parents are X, Y, or Z. This is where our jobs, your job. This is why this podcast comes in place, because you guys listening, if you're in this position, please take on board everything that Professor Braulio has just gone over. Please take on board the core values, the principles in life, the way you need to be handling your mindset, because we touched upon it before. Look at things now for yourself. Look at the last podcast that we discussed when you got that neck injury, where you thought, that was everything.
It's over, yeah.
When the
but
doctors,
there's always a way out.
There's way, yeah.
Because you search, because you believe.
Yeah.
And that's the power of the universe. This is what the miracles come. That's what the miracle is about. At first, before Christ, there was no law. So therefore, they have to come with the Bible, with something to put people fear, to don't carry on doing what they're doing. Then came laws, and then the religions were so strong because people feared the heaven and hell and this and that. But nowadays, because the people, things get cooler, and then people more, but there's not a God with a white beard look out over you, look at the astronomy, but it never has been. Is because but the core values that was taught, illustrated, there's always been, and that's what it is. And now Jiu-Jitsu, true martial arts, is cool and teach the same. It's basically is the same thing to try to be a better version of yourself and have fun in the process.
Absolutely, man. No, thank you so much for sharing that, Barra. Honestly, it's mind blowing. Like I said earlier, the energy I'm receiving from you right now is incredible, man. I'm getting pumped just hearing a bit. Man, so thank you for sharing it. Man, thank you, man. That's wicked. But you just recently come from a camp as well, haven't you? Were you abroad? Was it abroad recently?
I was in Poland.
Oh, in Poland, yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Getting ready for the UFC.
Yeah, Błachowicz was Ian. He's going to be fighting Glover Teixeira on the 30th of October. It's going to be an amazing fight. Bohovic is an amazing guy. He's so humble, and he's a very cool guy to be around. I met him before, like since when he was a purple belt. He's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. So I was teaching that at Gracie Barra in Warsaw. And then I had the opportunity. He found out that I was around, so we had like a proper few days training. And then I could share with him some stuff that's going to make a huge difference. And I'm very happy. And
Are you going to be part of the camp?
I'm not going to be part of the camp because they already have it. And plus, I have so many other commitments. I will be at the summit in Arizona. It will be an amazing time, especially after all this pandemic. We're going to be reunited. Me, Master Carlos Gracie Jr., Flavio Almeida, Barnes Feitosa, Marco Joca, and all the crew, my brother. I'll be presenting. I'll be the host once again. I hope my voice come back. As you can see, a little bit of snotty after some cold. It's not COVID. I didn't get COVID, but I'm just excited to get back into putting out there everything that I was learning through this pandemic. Because that's one of the things that I put in my mind. I want to learn something new every month. I want to improve myself, and when I'm ready to unleash the beast around the world to share and pass it on. I want to be prepared to be able to share it and make a difference.
But linked with the pandemic, like obviously we're out of it now, thank God. But the team, like we went heaps and like above everything else in terms of like just immediately, like even yourself, I saw that everything you're doing, like when we were linking up on a Thursday online, when you were doing your interviews with everyone, it was fun. Like tuning in on a Saturday, watching you interview the guys, and like you set up a little studio in your academy is so good. But like again, talking about connection, what we were touching upon earlier, but it was so good to see that you were staying connected digitally with everyone because it's so important. Because the pandemic, the lockdown affected everyone so bad. There's times that I'm only hearing stories now. I didn't realize the impact it had on some of my students and doing the things where we were linking up online and everything, how much it helped them and how much it kept them away from alcohol and this, because they had nothing to do. And does that make sense? And it's so good, but like you guys were like constantly step ahead of the game. Yeah,
because the idea is to focus on the positive. That's always been with Master Carlos. He always, listen, brother, focus on the positive and focus on what you can control. Okay? Pandemic hit. Okay, are you going to close? So why are you going to close? Hold on a second. What are the main 4 pillars that we deliver in our classes? People come there to socialize, to learn something new, to get inspired, and to exercise. You know? So that's 4 pillars. Can we bring these 4 pillars to the home? Yeah, we can. And we did. You know? And if you see, imagine the brain, how the brain is connected. If you see the brain active, there are focus of light that connect to everything. If you see the universe zoomed out, it's the same thing. It's a big link, even though they don't touch each other though. Right? And if you go down to if you zoom out of the globe in Gracie Barra, all the beacons of the Gracie Barra in Texas, Gracie Barra in Australia and Japan, but they still connected. Right? Because things that happen, if you notice that pandemic started in China and it went to Italy. Italy was the biggest breakthrough. Then it stopped being Italy and then goes bang, and then it started going to America and then goes bang, and then goes to Brazil and then go back a little bit to Italy and it's like boom, 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 boom. Now Australia is a little bit on the lockdown. We are not. So we can tell them what is happening now. And they told us what happened before, and then this exchange of knowledge gives you a better preparation for how to deal with the problem, or to foresee what to expect and how to behave. Jiu-Jitsu, through the pandemic, never was tested ever like that, because it was for the first time since its creation that we couldn't connect, we couldn't touch each other, we couldn't train, you know. But even though. What was the most important thing was not only the connection face to face, but the connection within what is there for you, for us to learn the importance of sharing experiences, the the sharing knowledge, be able to share the energy of the intentions of trying to give you something, even online.
Yeah.
The universe is crazy. Even when I try to teach you something, if you put time into it, you can feel. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you are. Even if you're looking for it, you appreciate and you give back, and it becomes the same thing. So our network became even more stronger. We grew through the pandemic.
I think we grew bigger. I may sound stupid here, but I think we grew bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Because since the pandemic, I connected with professors in Chicago, in Springfield, in California, and I'm still in contact with them now since the lockdown, and we're still talking and communicating now. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And then you will also see that one of the beautiful things for me as being one of the main leaders of Gracie Barra, it was to see that when the things hit the fan, when things went downhill, right? Our main leaders were the first one to stand by the team and focus on trying to figure out ways out, because there is always a way out. Absolutely. And that's what we learn in Jiu-Jitsu. Right? Yeah. Sometimes we feel like, man, I'm done, it's over. But if you think outside the box, there's always a way out. So they put themselves in a situation, they gave the best. I remember Professor Flavio Almeida, Professor Márcio Feitosa, and Professor Ryan, Professor Dave. They didn't sleep for 3 nights before the lockdown to try to position themselves, figure out how to have a strategy to the lockdown. By 5 days, they already had a strategy to how to go into lockdown, to how to come out of the lockdown already. That's how strong it is. And when I see me as one of the leaders, see my leaders doing that, what is left out of me if not do everything to go, guys, that's what it is. And you see and you feel. Because when you see people within your organization giving the best what they can do, and it's not giving the back to you, whoever appreciates will appreciate. And whoever appreciates and give back will join forces. And that was the beauty. Everyone who was doing for the sake of giving back by appreciating everything that Master Carlos Gracie Jr. started for us. Whoever appreciated that, what Gracie Barra became up to that point. Whoever gave back, everyone who appreciated and gave back was adding forces, and then became a huge connection. You get it? That's the in terms of networking, we became connected in a way that I became closer, as you mentioned, to professors that I know even, through the pandemic, Gracie Barra from Vancouver, there was like a fire.
Yes,
in a flood. They lost it all.
They lost the school.
We joined together. There was fire in Australia. Yeah, remember, Australia was in the fire. We help each other. And now everyone is back in the game, stronger than ever.
Absolutely.
Because we stuck together. We're stronger. That's what the point is.
That's the whole concept of Gracie Barra, and it goes to show again another fine example of jiu-jitsu in great leadership, because it started from your leaders. It started from the leaders who lost 3-4 days of sleep to figure a way of getting into this lockdown to come out the other end.
Now check it out, Pindi.
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu is a game of solving problems. When you practice and when you learn jiu-jitsu, we're fighting against each other, right? Yeah. In a healthy way, but I want to beat you, and you want to beat me, and we are at the same time together, right? Now, look in the world of so much polarization. Lefties against the rights, blacks against the whites. All those, Black Lives Matter, whatever, everyone polarizing, all polarization. That's not the way. Because look how strong and powerful Gracie Barra has proved the concept. Remember the concept of any successful thing, if you apply in anything in life, will lead to the success, right? Gracie Barra, people we train jiu-jitsu all over the world. We try to beat each other, but at the same time, we're part of the same thing. We connected as a one thing, together we're stronger, and this made success. There's no polarization. It's not the polarization that made us stronger. It was together that made us stronger. So that's what everyone Look, if you see, all religions says the same. You know, because it's the concept. If you lead towards this concept, why left, right, put it together. Is the bloody balances matters. That's the balance. Everything is in the balance. Everything is in the middle. It's the yin and yang. So it's not best or worse. It's together. And then look, the tree so far away apart, but together they stronger because they're all good. So when you understand, when the human race understand that it's not black or white, it's together with the same thing, When you put this in practice, then if it ever happen, I don't know. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you focus on that mindset, it will direct you peace in the world.
100%.
And that's why I'm telling you, this kind of concept will make a world a much better place to live.
And it goes back to that philosophy, the saying, everyone does jiu-jitsu, martial arts in the world will be a much better place. We were watching UFC a couple of months ago, Thug Rose. You know the girl that fights, the one with the shaved head? Yeah. She said the same thing.
She's good, huh?
She's amazing, man. But she said the same thing. She won her fight, she got the title, and she said her journey now is to open as many martial arts schools across the world, across her state, and then she's going to try and develop it as much as she can because she believes, again, linked with jiu-jitsu, the world would be a much better place. And I can't express that enough, and that's what I'm passing that down to the kids here from 3 years of age and just trying to develop them and then into the next with the juniors, then the teens, then the adults, and it just keeps going.
And if you apply this in anywhere in the world, you become a beacon like the tree.
Yes.
In anywhere you do. If you help everyone else, everyone's fine. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the guy that beat McGregor, what's his name, the last one?
Dustin Poirier.
He's a goodie. You can tell.
Yeah.
He's joined Manny Pacquiao and then doing an amazing job in Africa. They use himself as his position to become a beacon of positivity to help people to achieve. You know what I mean? One day, I will make a very good. That's my goal anyway. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm too far away. But one thing that I get very frustrated is that people spending billions to try to find water in Mars, when in Africa people are thirsty to death
and dying.
How is that even possible, bro? How is that mindset right? You know, even sort your like, remember the other concept that we hear in the army. A successful journey starts on the bedroom. If you don't sort your bloody bedroom, how can you fix your house? How can you fix someone else's house?
Yeah.
Your Earth is here.
Yeah, why are you going over there?
You want to go there now? Wait, it's not that you're never going to be there, but sort yourself your mess first. Yeah. There's so much to improve. So many people with so many people with nothing. Why not be the tree and help everyone? And everyone grows together. We're stronger. God's sake, is that hard?
You know what? You hit the nail on it. It doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why people?
This goes like what? That's why I'm never going to be a millionaire. Because as soon as I have in a position that I can help others, I will.
You're going to do it. But you know what it is? It's not just in Africa as well. Like, there's places in Brazil, right, that need the help.
Africa is the problem of the world. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. You got Africa, you got everywhere. There's so many countries out there. And it comes down to power, it comes down to pride, it comes down to arrogance, it comes down to...
Which you learn in jiu-jitsu to deal with it.
Exactly.
Right? Because one day you're going to end up by yourself, bro. And
100%.
whatever you build is not going to be here. And then look at their life. Those people, do you think they go sleep? Because only when you go home and be by yourself before the last minute before you close your eyes is when you deal with yourself. That's when you are happy or not.
Yes.
Is what you feel fulfilled or not.
Yeah.
But as in everything in life, what's good if it doesn't exist, the bad, right? So we all have our little bad. So that's why we need to kind of try. The more you can control the goodie, the dark side of the light side.
Yeah.
I think that's the way. When you get everything in the balance.
Absolutely.
The more people in the world be able to reach the balance and learn how to find the balance. Because not everyone, it's going to take time, right?
Yes, yeah.
But I believe that I'm trying to help together with people who understand what I'm talking about, to spread out that, to make that positivity. And then maybe made a real true impact that bringing peace around? Because sometimes I just don't understand.
I don't understand some people's logic sometimes as well. So I completely get it. People's mentality is it's just different. And you got that's all we can say. You got to
It's missing thought focus on self growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be able, the more self growth you achieve, the more you understand is about sharing and helping others, people around you to go together.
So, man, we've touched upon so much in this conversation that we've just had, apart, like, all down to your mindset, how much you gained from it, and touching upon what you said. You said it earlier on in your career, very selfish. But now I'm seeing, again, because of social media, what you're doing outside of your academy, outside of teaching, everything. And it's recently I've just seen you go on one of your first family holidays, like where you all connected together. I think it was Portugal you guys went, or
That was spooky.
That was special, man. How did that? Who planned that? Out of you or?
Look, basically, just a little resume of of my life. It was kind of a little bit of the pinnacle of my family bond. Yeah. Like I'm from Recife, and because. We have time, isn't it? I want to tell you. It's a very, very interesting story. Okay, all through the concepts that makes anything successful. That's the reason why I'm here in UK, and that's why we end up in this holiday amazing with all my family that lives in Portugal, which I will explain. Okay. One day, my dad did judo until he was a orange belt, and he realized how judo is good for for self-discipline, and everything. The martial arts is good for become a better version of themselves. And at the time he didn't know that, but it made me. His mindset was like I was very hyper, would calm me down, and like to help to respect others. That's the point. I did judo, and then I remember I wanted to be good now. I remember that I used to say that I was a blue belt in judo without even done judo. It's part of my lesson, right? So I remember, I said, what better is, I'm blue belt. Are you? Can you bring your belt next time? Okay, I'll bring it. And I brought a blue T-shirt. And I cannot use my
T-shirt to tie up.
Yeah, I remember this, so crazy. Professor Sensei Antonino, from Recife.
Yeah.
And he was a brown belt at the time. And then I moved places because I was living with my grandma. Then we moved to other places. And then I went to this school called Coração de Maria. And I remember, so unique, this school. There was one of my neighbors used to live there. And it was all new for me. I was excited to get to know people. At the same time, a little bit apprehensive. And then I saw this guy that was a year above me. I was probably year... In comparison, I was primary school. Okay. Like year 4, 5. Yeah, it's about 8, 9 years old. And then this guy that was from the year 6. Yeah. And in that school, when you have that difference, people doing year 6, they even want to talk to people year 5, right? But this guy called Fernando, he was the coolest kid in the school. And he made me welcome in that school, right? And that was like I felt valued there. Look the concept.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
This was my first attraction to be his friend. Yeah. He included me. He was a nice guy. He was very friendly, very popular, and he made me feel included. Yeah. And I felt good. And I felt like, man, it's all right. It's good. Then he did judo, and because of that, I started training judo. So the first concept, the first values. See, he included me. He was a nice person and tried to be someone that was. I remember I said, man, you're from a different guy. It's your first. Cool, man. Just anything you hear, we cool, we friends. I said, man, this guy's nice. Felt good. Oh, what do you know? I do judo. No, I used to do judo before. I want to do. Okay, we start doing judo, and we used to go and compete together. Time goes. We go let's skip secondary school, we go to the college. Not university, before college. How is in
high school, then you have
high
sixth form, or
after high school.
Yeah.
Let's keep high school.
Yep.
We go to everything. So then he goes to his life, like he's a surfer, and I want to be a surfer as well, blah, blah, blah. And he was very popular, a lot of girlfriends. I had none. Bastard. But and then we went to I was 18. We go to the next stage, right?
Yeah.
Before university has 3 years, I think. I don't know. Like when people gonna be hairdresser or whatever.
They do like a 3-year course.
Yeah. So we went to this new school. Funny enough, he started going out with this lady, who just came from Brazil, which he was a sister of a friend of mine, one of our classroom mates, friends. Again, I already tried to do the same. I go, oh man, like we're here from Rio. He's from Rio, and Fernando. He was his brother-in-law. Yes. His girlfriend was 2 years below Fernando. Fernando, my best mate, and he became his brother-in-law, and he was a Brazilian champion in Jiu-Jitsu. We didn't even know what the Jiu-Jitsu was about. Right? And he was on the Gracie Barra. Look how crazy. Then, actually, in fact, he's sending me a message. They're going to give me a call after this.
Okay, cool.
Fernando started training Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
At the freestyle Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
And he said, Braulio, you should come and train Jiu-Jitsu. I was already decided to go in Judo that time.
Yes.
Back into Judo.
Yes.
And then Fernando say, you should come and train Jiu-Jitsu. I said, why, man? No way. I don't like UFC. I said, no. It's no punching and kicking. It's just like Judo, but on the ground. I said, oh, really? I'm going to check it out. Then I said, oh, this is cool. I can actually help my Judo by training Jiu-Jitsu. Yep. Freddie, which is his brother-in-law, was a blue belt. He used to kick the hell out of me. 6 taps every 5 minutes. I said, oh my God, he was so skinny. Like he was like like a lightweight. And I was equivalent to the middleweight. I said, oh my God. And I found, okay, that's good. So that was the first pound. In Recife, Jiu-Jitsu was, I didn't know if Jiu-Jitsu was real or whatever I was teaching, or whatever, at the time was, there was a brown belt teaching, Charles Zanges, which was a very good helper. And then he left to American and Zé Radiola carry on. But I didn't really like the values that was, you're going to go here, you're going to beat this guy, you're going to kill. It's not so much, that was the only jiu-jitsu that I had. Yes. And then, that's when leads to my first experience of the real jiu-jitsu through what Gracie Jiu-Jitsu was. It was when I went to Rio for the first time, and it was through Freddie, who wasn't even training anymore, that the connection was made with Carlos Gracie Jr. Because Freddie was a blue belt under Carlos Gracie Jr. Right. Look at the coincidence, right? Yeah. But is it?
Is it?
Right?
That's exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then, what happened was, this happening, that's when I had the first conversation with Carlos Gracie Jr. And then you had something about you, blah, 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 blah. I didn't even tell Fernando about it because I didn't want to get that like a jealousy or whatever.
Yeah, conversation.
Because of that connect that I end up being here with Roger, with those coincidences, end up in UK. Then I brought my brother. Yes. Then I brought my dad, my mom. So they separate, but they are so connected as a family. What's the purpose? What's going on? And my dad had another son, and whatever, blah, blah, Marquinhos, which is here with me right now. It's crazy, like how it from that little seed planted, it all went connected to the point that I did my career, ended up in UK, then came to Brexit. Me and my brother runs the GB. My is more into it as the academic way, more as a business way. My brother came to me to UK because I invited him so we can become the champions. Yes. He became a world champion as a no-gi world champion, and I carried on my career. And my brother, he kind of through that, he became a very good reference in the Gracie Barra. But not as and then I was still be competing, but he brought that. He taught me the selfless mindset by leading my example. I helped him through competition, See, it's the tree.
Yes.
I was the tree, and he became. I helped him to, and then he nourished me back.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And then it happened that my brother, he became one of the biggest reference at the Gracie Barra as a leader, which inspired me to be a better leader. I inspired him to be a champion, and he inspired me to be a leader, and we both became.
Where you are right now.
Yeah, right now. Then Brexit came. I'm not going to go into the details, but by accident, my mom was in Spain. Okay. And then my dad was moved to Portugal, and then my mom was going to Brazil, ended up in Portugal. Suddenly happened that my dad and his wife, and his daughter with his wife, and Marquinhos, is living in bloody Portugal. From Recife, which my dad was a dentist, and my dad was doing Uber in Portugal, which was a coincidence. Man, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Now, what happened? Brexit came. Appears that Victor moved to Portugal because it was made sense. Because you need to have a GB wear in Europe.
Yes.
Where to go? Bloody, no question about it.
Absolutely. Same language.
Then,
there you go.
For the first time now, it never happened before that we everyone stayed together in the same place. But now, the last holiday in September, for the first time, me, my girlfriend, my kids, my brother, and his family, kids and wife, Marquinhos, my sister, Rebecca, my mom, my dad, his wife.
All in one.
In one place, but not only in one place, but where they live. It was a cycle that it was crazy.
That's never happened before.
It never happened before. And if you put into chances, it would be easier for me to win a lottery than this happened. But guess what? This was more than a whole lottery for me.
Yeah, you can't.
And I'm very lucky. But those signs has been shown that this kind of signs has been showing me that things are, that the choice that we making are the right choices. And that's why we're here, and motivate me to carry on the mindset, spreading the way, because it feels like, of course this story has been a little bit about my family.
Yes.
But on the process, how many families that has been benefit as well, like people who is leading Victor's Academy and the Gracie Barra around the whole UK has the power to be able to proportionate that.
Yes.
It has to be replaced for something, right? Yeah. In Jiu-Jitsu is about replacement. You can never just It's like growing, everyone with us are growing together.
Absolutely.
And everyone's reaping the benefits
together,
and everyone having an amazing experiences and with the ups and downs. Don't forget that this is it's not like a walk in the park. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of commitments, a lot of giving up, a lot of losses.
Yeah.
But it was with the selfless mindsets that led towards there. And today, when we have the opportunity to appreciate each other, we appreciate each other, 100%. Give back to each other, and we go back to our lives and carry on.
And carry on giving.
The same
100%
kind of mindset.
It's so beautiful to hear, because I was watching. I was funny. I'm always funny on Insta already, but like seeing the Insta, seeing you guys together, it's like, yo, that's insane. That's because I've met you all as individuals. Does that make sense? I've seen you all together. Like I've been with your dad when he came here a few years ago when Victor did the seminar for me. Your dad come with him. Marco, he's crazy. He's gonna hit you. I mean, it's so like.
He's an amazing kid.
What's he doing now? Is he coaching?
He's coaching in the academy. He's there. He's training. He got COVID. Now he just got out 2 weeks ago. So he's gonna be here. He's gonna be helping training. Victor's opening a school in Lisbon.
Yep.
With you guys, and he's gonna be one of the main coaches out there. And then he's being experienced. He's ready. He's an amazing kid. He's very dedicated. He's polite, very likable, and he follow the vision
principles.
and the principles with the values. And it's such an amazing kid to be around, and he helped so much. I helped him so much, and then we are in that process, And at the moment now, it's very exciting, at the same time uncertain, but we know it feels right.
Yes.
And we help each other. Sometimes, Marquinhos think, oh man, where should I be? Or maybe Brazil is a place, or is it Sweden, or is it Spain?
Yeah, because he spent a lot of time with Fabino.
Yeah, Fabino
in Sweden.
in
Yeah,
Stockholm.
so yeah.
So, but the thing is, we need to also go back to the core values, the concepts, right?
Yeah.
First, you got to focus on your success.
Yes.
You have to figure out your base. You need to clean your bedroom.
Yeah.
Then we need to clean your house. Then be able to help others. It's like the concept of the mask when the turbulence on the plane.
Yes.
The mask goes down. If there are kids, before you help the kids, even if the kid is passing out, you got to put the mask on you first. Because by having the mask on you, I'll be able to help you conscious with a reason.
Yes.
Instead of, oh, my kids, don't do the anyway, they won't be able to help me, and then we out. So that comes down to that concept. Focus about understanding yourself. Accept yourself. Work around the understand manipulate your body. Then manipulate someone else's body. It's the same. Focus on get your success story. Same thing Master Carlos Gracie Jr.
Yes.
Focus on become a success story. Then later, help someone to become a successor. Then help someone to help someone. The tree.
It's a
It's
tree
the
concept.
same thing.
The concept that you keep going on about, not keep going on about it, but I've learned so much from our conversation with you today. But about the tree, again, we were just saying beforehand to you guys listening that how selfless is a tree, and how we as humans are so
selfish,
naive, silly, stupid, whatever you want to call it, arrogant, egotistical, whatever it may be. And how much does the tree do for us?
Exactly.
And how much have we got the ability to do so much for others
and we
that
don't.
only a small percentage of us do, but majority don't?
Yeah. Concepts-wise, if you see, the tree is like a primal being, and it doesn't move. Yet is so selfless. Give you food, become a place for other creatures to live, becomes food for other creatures to live, yet regenerating, grows more to give more. Right? Plants for the herbivores, allocate carnivores to become predators, and on and on and on. Insects, never ending. Help the other trees itself as well, and in the evening, filter the air so you can breathe better. Dude, it's fully selfless, and if the concept of a primal being, the concept, if you follow the concept of the path, you will see how much you, as a so complex, probably the most complex being,
absolutely,
how much more you could become, and then it's beautiful. We will talk about it. I want to go more. This is just a few observations that shows the side. Hold on a sec. I should actually explore this more because it does make you understand better what is matter in life real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No. It's absolutely amazing because it's making me understand more. I want to learn. I want to see this documentary that you're going on about. So if you share it with everyone, once you
I'll show you. I'll show you the link. I don't have the name because
guys, we'll put it in the comments below when we release this podcast. But I think it's going to be so amazing. I think it's so important to study it because I've just learned so much in the space of a couple hours just now talking to you. But imagine it's opened my eyes up.
The experiment that caught my attention. It was they put two plants. Right, one with the access to oxygen and the light. The other one with no exchange of oxygen, wrapped on the bubble. And then it didn't die because it was fully connected. They was giving all the nutrients to that to keep on going. And it was giving back as well to giving more back so this can grow even further. So it can give more nutrients to be able to grow. It's crazy. I'll give it. This is just one little thing. For example, there's another. As again, it doesn't exist just one documentary or one concept or one thing that's gonna give you the whole answer. Is you need to search and connect and cross-reference, like you learn. Like a Kimura is a normal partner. If you search, you figure out the connection between, and you put it together. It makes the concept behind. Like I also saw in a completely different documentary about when there was in the laboratory, there's so many guinea pigs that has to be killed because it was infected with experiments. And they made an experiment. They were measuring the vibration of the plants in the area, and before, during, and after when they had to kill all the guinea pigs. While they're being killed, the vibrations of the plants, it changed them drastically. So there was a reaction about it. You know, this is quite interesting.
And from the vibrations, that's the energy. So if the plants are feeling this, imagine now everything else that we take for granted. We're walking around the park and we're talking negatively, or we're having an argument, for example, or there's something, everything feels it. Does that make sense? Like you feel it, and it all comes down to energy, the vibrations that you're talking about.
And that's one of the lessons that Master Carlos Gracie Jr always said: be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind.
Yes.
You know, if you...
How powerful is that saying?
This is so strong.
Yeah.
You know, this is being strong.
Yeah.
But you can only control here. That's what people say. Happiness comes from you. If you want to change the world, start with yourself. But that's what it says. Yeah. It says I cannot control what you can do.
Yeah.
I can control what I can do. I can lead by example, but it's up to you to follow or not. All I can do is be a source of positivity that will lead
absolutely
to the direction that is supposed to change the world.
Yes.
And whoever takes that and put in practice, appreciate and give back, blah, 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 and then we made a difference. That's what comes down to. And sometimes, I'm not saying that I'm saint. Dude, I have so much negative, so much flaws in my life.
We all, but that's part of life.
It's even things that I do know.
Yes.
That is right. Sometimes when I don't put in practice, I don't get the results that I expected, because it's not only knowing.
Yeah.
Knowing is the minimum that you should to be able to make an impact, but then you got to put in practice.
Yes.
You need to lead by example. Again, by leading by example, you become a good leader.
Absolutely.
And then, because when you say something but you don't do it, how can you expect someone to do the same?
Practice what you preach, right?
Practice what you preach. So
absolutely.
it comes down to concepts again, the same.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. No. Professor Braulio, thank you so much for your time today. I'm truly inspired by everything I've heard about your stories, about your mindset, your logical thinking, and everything that you've been up to since we last spoke in April. Guys, if you want a part 3 to this,
we can talk.
Man, we can keep going. Guys, if you want a part 3 to this, please comment below. Let us know. As always, I appreciate your time. It's so amazing to have you here and taking the time out to share your passion, your journey with us, your beliefs with us. So thank you so much, Professor. Is there anything that you want to add on before we finish it up?
I'd like just to, a lot of times, like, for example, people think, oh man, like, look, this guy, how he understands jiu-jitsu such a different way that I can't even grasp what he's talking about. Yeah. It wasn't always like that. I don't consider myself like the guy that knows it all. I'm just trying to share a little bit of the experience on how I observe jiu-jitsu and connect with life, and what made me successful in my sport, doing what I did, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to share like the same way that when I share in the training classes on how I understand techniques, so you can take your own conclusions and you achieve as well. And it has been proven that it works. Yeah. So if I talk, look, when I was 3 times world champion as a black belt, and I didn't even understand what I would talk now. It's a process that takes time. I used to go to my classroom. I was afraid even to say a presentation on my classroom. When the only thing that I see that I know was something that was my characteristic was being always try to be humble. Mm-hmm. Try not to take advantage of people, and try to learn from everything, and don't repeat mistakes of people who already did those mistakes. And that led on try to learn, become a better version of yourself. That's it. Never give up. Yes. And I remember, like, every time that I fell, stand up one more time. One more time. The persistence and the determination. That's the thing that I had. But some people don't. But if you focus on learning, like the other areas that I couldn't understand, I wanted to be so champion is about me. It took me a while for me to learn. Hold on a second. I should be not only about me, but also to all. And then I learned. Yes. But some people are just giving, like the plants, but not have the mindset of becoming a champion. They got to learn on the other way, because everyone is different. And understand yourself, accept yourself, and try to become a better version on different areas, and make many different trees in your life with different branches, with different kind of flowers, different kind of fruits. You become
a better
version of yourself, the best as could
Absolutely.
be.
Absolutely,
That's
man.
it, really.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Nice one,
Till the
really.
next time, brother.
Nice
Thank
one,
you.
brother.